YouTube, what's going on? It's Tysophon. So it looks like Square Enix decided to attend PAX East 2023 and they ended up revealing a lot of Final Fantasy XVI content while being there. And all I gotta say is that the more gameplay I see of this game, the more ecstatic I get to get my hands on the game, or at least the demo that's scheduled to release a bit before the actual launch of Final Fantasy XVI. Now, one thing you guys should know about me is that I'm a big gameplay junkie. And when I say that, I'm pretty much saying that I believe that gameplay is on the top of the pyramid when it comes to things that I need from a video game. I put gameplay over things like the story, graphics, music, and all that stuff. If I'm not enjoying the gameplay, I'm probably not going to make it through to the end of the game, so the gameplay has to be up to par for me personally. And like I said before, seeing all that gameplay footage that was shown in the live stream really put my mind at ease, more than the last bit of gameplay footage that we received last month from Square. And man, they were not kidding when they said that they wanted to flesh out Clive's moveset all the way. So let's go over some of the things that really caught my eye. In the live stream, we saw Clive switching to a new icon that looked like Bahamut, because Clive gains the ability to use Mega Flare on the left side of the screen, which is a plus because you can't have a Final Fantasy game without one of your most iconic summons being Bahamut. We also get a quick glimpse at what looks like Ramuh, which grants Clive the ability of electricity. At one part, you see a gauge on the left side of the screen that says Zentetsuken, which if you're a Final Fantasy veteran, you know that move belongs to Odin. And we see on the top left that he'll be an icon that Clive will get on his journey. I don't know what it is, and it could just be my eyes playing tricks on me, but this time around the strikes that Clive gives his enemies, even without the icon's power, it looks like it has a little bit more weight to it and a little bit more impact to them, which was something that I complained about on my last video I did on Final Fantasy XVI. I'm thinking this was due to them adding more shaking of the screen this time around. I remember there being some jittering during battles in the last gameplay footage that we got, but I don't think it was as intense as it looks right now. But let me know if you noticed that too. They also showed off how quick the fast traveling will be in this game, and it took around about 4 to 7 seconds to load up the area that you wanted to travel to. That's a huge step up from the garbage loading times that was in Final Fantasy 15. I felt like I could eat like a whole meal in between loading screens in that game. This game also looks like it's gonna have a decent amount of content outside of the main story that people can enjoy. For example, they showed that 16 will have like an action-focused arcade mode where you pretty much fight against enemies as you climb up the different stages, and you'll receive points for it that you can compare with other people around the globe. And so pretty much like it works like how Devil May Cry's Bloody Palace mode works, where you just fighting swarms of enemies and you can just test your mechanical abilities and see how well you fare against everyone else in the world. They also showed off this safe zone like area where it looks like you can go to refine your weapons, buy your items, and just kind of get away from the main story for a bit. I really like that they added this because some days I might not want to play through the story. I might just want to like sit down and chill and just do things around the safe zone area. I'm really hoping for like a training mode in this place so that like I can just go to warm up, or I can just go to practice on like some sort of training dummy, and maybe that dummy could have like different types of settings and, you know, different types of actions that you can make it do to like freshen up your evasion reflexes, or to test out new combos that you thought of to see which combo gets you the most damage, similar to how the Void works in Devil May Cry 5. I really hope they take advantage of this safe zone area for things like that specifically. Now back to combat. Jill and Torgal will be fighting at your side as AI controlled party members, of course, and certain enemies will have a staggered state that they will go into if you deplete what they call in this game a will gauge down to 0. A feature I thought was really interesting in this live stream was the ring of timely accessories that they showed off that you can equip onto Clive, which is pretty much acts as like a help me system for different types of players of different types of skill ranges. So for example, the ring of timely strikes was equipped onto Clive, and what it did was it automated all of his attacks, meaning if you just sit there and press one button, Clive will do a crazy amount of attacks and abilities that would usually take more button pushes and a lot more mechanical skill to pull off. so think of it as this game's auto combo system. You also have the Ring of Timely Focus, which slows down time right before the enemy hits you, giving you enough time to press the R1 button to dodge the attack, which looked really dope too, but I don't think I'll be using that feature too much myself because I want to get the raw experience of learning how to deal with enemy attacks and performing my own combos created by me. Oh, and you can pet Torgal and feed him treats as well for you dog lovers out there. Last, they showed us a couple of icon battles, which I actually liked over the sluggish icon battles that they showed us last month. These ones looked a lot more fluid and a lot more quicker, and they kind of remind me of the summon battles from the city of NT, which were pretty fun too. It looks like you go up against an enemy named Typhon, which I'm not entirely sure if it's a summon or not. And come on, I can't be the only one that thought that Typhon kind of looked like the Guardian that protects Ansem in Kingdom Hearts 1 a little bit. But overall, I'm liking what I'm seeing with Final Fantasy 16, and it's making me anticipate the game more and more as time goes along. Yeah, it may not be structured like how previous Final Fantasy games were, like having swappable party members or every companion being AI controlled. You know, they never showed anything indicating that we can control how Jill acts during battle, like having her play on a more aggressive side or having her fight on a more defensive side, or having something like the Gambit system from Final Fantasy 12 where she'll heal you when your HP is below 20%, or she'll cast Protect on the party at the beginning of every battle. But that doesn't mean that I'm not open to the direction that Final Fantasy is going nowadays. I like the amount of detail that they're putting into the game with making the world big and expansive like 15 and having its medieval setting like 12 in the earlier Final Fantasy games, and adding little mechanics in the game to make the gameplay more enjoyable for not just one type of player, but for all types of players. This just might be the game that pulls in a different crowd and might inspire people to try out other Final Fantasy games after beating this one. But that's all I got, people. Feel free to have a conversation down below and let me know if you were already on board with this game from the start, or were you kinda like me where you had to see more and more of the game before you were completely sold on it. If you liked the video, hit the like button. If you want to keep up with more of my videos like this, hit the subscribe button. This has been Ty Savon, and I'm out, people. Later.